Ow. Alright guys, for today's video, wouldn't you know it, it's another video about flock cameras. I am not going to stop until these cameras and all the ilk that is similar to them in the same mass surveillance vein is eliminated. They have to go. And I'm not going to stop until all you puppets out there that are defending this or acting like this is in some way acceptable, wake up. Because people are about to start dying from this. Sit here and watch these two videos.
I gotta tell you this at first. How come I'm getting
the reason you have four cops here is because your license plate is registered as stolen license plates in our system.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Hello, sir. Can you come out to me, please?
Sure.
Yes. Is it just you and the wife?
Yeah.
Come on, please, for me.
Both of us?
Both of them. Yep. Are you armed at all?
No.
No. Okay. Is this your car?
It's complicated. Can I explain it?
You can explain it. Yes.
I'm an automotive journalist.
Okay.
So I'm the director of content and product for the drive.com. If I can get my phone. Can you get my phone?
Yeah, you can get your phone. What's the drive?
It's an automotive media website. That's me right there. In the glove box that says this car is registered and I'm a journalist.
Do you mind if we take a look at that?
Sure. Can I get it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing in the car. No other people in the car.
Okay. Okay. Can you come out to me, please?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Is this your car?
It's complicated. Can I explain it?
You can explain it. Yes.
I review cars for a living. I fly around the world to review cars. I have a different car every single week.
The reason you have four cops here is because your license plate is registered as stolen license plates in our system.
Are you serious?
That's why Flock has been reading it, because it's popping up as a stolen plate. Okay.
Got it. So this was picked up somewhere by Flock. Cameras that read my license plate now twice in the last couple of days, and it picked up and flagged it for the cops. You guys have been searching for this car. Unreal.
So now, I have reported using this site before, so a couple times, and I will continue using the site because it's really good. But the thing about this time is that this actually happened to a journalist from this site. So this happened to a Drive journalist, as you heard in the video. So we're going to go over here to the drive.com, and we are going to look at his side of what actually happened. So, how flock cameras wrongfully tracked me for days over stolen plates, stolen in quotation, obviously, and sent police after me. A simple error got magnified by Flock's nationwide surveillance camera network and ended with 4 cops boxing me in. Are you armed? The police officer screamed, "Get out of the car." Okay? Now, you may have seen the title of this video and thought, oh, this is pretty hyperbolic or whatever. First and foremost, when it comes to trying to get attention on YouTube, you need to have attention-grabbing thumbnails and titles. So that's the intention behind this. But also, too, the main thing is, like, anytime you come in contact with law enforcement, your threat of getting killed, not threat, maybe not a better word, but your probability of getting killed increases from about nothing while you're just going about your everyday, and just increases as things get more tense and whatever the interaction is. If you just happen to walk by a cop, like down the road, down the sidewalk, he just minds bang, you say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's a threat level 0. Anytime you interact with cops and they pull you over for something, you're already suspected of being some sort of criminal behavior. It escalates up a little bit. When a cop pulls you over, you're already suspected of some sort of criminal activity, right? Okay, so every time, depending on what the situation is, it just escalates further, further, further. When a cop is responding to a kidnapping call, right? If someone claims to be kidnapped, they're going to go there under the assumption that someone is kidnapped and assume that someone's at gunpoint or whatever, right? So the cops that pulled this guy over were under the impression that this car was stolen, so they're already thinking they are dealing with a vehicle thief who may or may not be armed, okay? Who's to know? So they are already in a heightened state of paranoia or alertness, I should say, but even a lot of times they're not really alert. But that has escalated from 0 threat up to whatever you want to put the probability of getting shot at this sort of threat level. I was pumping gas one time, filling up the Z, and a cop pulled up and we shot the shit for 10 minutes because he too has a 3rd gen. There was a threat level of 0. But had I been pumping gas there and then someone says that they heard screaming coming from the back of that car and then a cop comes flying up in there, they're at a much higher level. You understand what I'm saying here? So it's not hyperbolic to say that flock cameras almost got this guy killed, because these cops showed up assuming that the car was stolen. It wasn't just one cop showing up. They came 4 deep, okay? So this guy, he got a press loaner from JLR, which is Jaguar Land Rover. $155,000 Range Rover, which that is absurd. No car should cost anywhere near that, especially these little gay little SUVs, these crappy British things, right? And the only thing I should say is the only thing that's carrying Jaguar Land Rover right now is Land Rover, because if you guys have saw that ridiculous Jaguar ad from last year, that killed like 99% of their sales. And I actually have a good parody logo of that in my parody logo collection on my website if you want to check it out. But so this guy, he's a press journalist or an automotive journalist, and automotive journalists get loaner vehicles. That's the nature of the gig. If there's any automotive or auto companies out there that come across any of my videos and want to allow me to be a press journalist, and you aren't afraid of a lot of dirty words and like actual real blunt honesty about your products, by all means, hook me up. I will gladly review your stuff. But he and his wife were just driving around. They're in Minnesota. They just stopped at Kohl's to drop off some Amazon packages, because that's one of the places you got to drop it off. 4 cops came flying up. They pulled him out. They had him get out of the car. They patted him down. They're questioning all the deals, what was going on, all because they had been being tracked throughout Minnesota for the past week by flock cameras, because in California, over 2,000 miles away, someone entered in a license plate number that was as stolen, that was then registering the flock cameras as being stolen. Now, with the way these cameras go, or these plates go with these loaner vehicles through Jaguar or Land Rover, they're out of New Jersey, and they have a different sort of structure to the license plate. You have 2 big numbers at the front. In this case, it was a 34, then like smaller numbers right beside it. I think a 10 is on this tag. And then you have the whatever was at the last 3 that was at the back of it. So right here, look here, 34, small 10, and then DTM large, okay? It was entered in the system that a 34-03 DTM, a different loaner Jaguar Land Rover vehicle with New Jersey plates, was being stolen. So Flock was reading these plates, and Flock was only recognizing the 34 and the DTM. And so that popped up and flagged this vehicle, that was not the same vehicle, as being stolen, okay? After about an hour here, they had the husband and wife separated. They were questioning them until they saw that both of their stories lined up for about an hour before they were allowed to actually come back together. So at least an hour of their time was spent being interrogated in a parking lot over something that they didn't do. An hour of their life gone, missing. They'll never get that back, okay? The cops finally ended up running the VIN number of the Range Rover, and they came back, oh no, this Range Rover is clean. But the cops still thought that the plates were in fact dirty. And why? Because the LAPD entered in a different number than the flock camera was able to read, because the flock cameras can't read these tiny little things. So the flock camera only saw the 34 DTM. And the LAPD did not, because they are one of the most inept police departments in the entire country. Them, the NYPD, the Chicago PD, all those big city ones, they are inept as hell. But it came back as being stolen. So even when they realized that this car was good, these officers themselves still wanted to see that these plates were stolen, even though it wasn't. So the journalist had to explain what was going on. The cop asked if he could get someone from Jaguar on the phone. Luckily, someone called and answered the call on a Sunday afternoon. They explained what was going on. The cop talked to them, they found out what the deal was, and then that Jaguar Land Rover employee then tried to contact the LAPD to try to get them to fix the issue. Whether it has been fixed, I don't know. But okay, so he asked the journalist here asked to see the camera footage, and the cops pulled out his phone and opened the Flock app, because of course there's an app for this to be able to pull up all this information from all across the country for no reason, and showed two photos, a white child Range Rover going through an intersection, and a zoomed in shot of the New Jersey license plate, which clearly reads 3410 DTM. and says vehicle manufacturer along the bottom. So right there it says vehicle manufacturer tag on the bottom. Critically, the number 10 is much smaller font than the rest of the tag, which is a non-standard structure in New Jersey uses for manufacturer plates, okay? Again, tried to explain that I had no idea what the license plate on a press car would be flagged like this. Can you get Range Rover on the phone? He asked. He was able to get Range Rover on the phone. Okay. Talked to this, found out. The cop talked to him for about 10 minutes. He hung up, came back over, and clarified what was actually going on. The New Jersey plates that were allegedly stolen from the LA dealer were 3403, so it'd be 03 in small DTM, not 3410 DTM. But the police report was created and the plates were entered in the Flock system. It was just recorded as 34 DTM. So because the cops' ineptitude in Los Angeles and not entering in the full license plate led to these guys getting the cops coming up to them with hands on guns, not guns drawn in this instance, which is good, but the cops boxing them in, coming up with them with hands on guns, shouting commands at them, having to get out of the car, patting them down, having them sit there and explain themselves for an hour before they were finally allowed to be free and go about their day, okay? Here is the extra scary part about this. Because that cop, they screwed up in LA, and the Flock cameras are inept at doing anything that they do, there are 4 other Jaguar Land Rover vehicles currently. I don't know if this was fixed, but this happened on the 9th or something like that when this happened, July 9th. There were currently 4 other loaner vehicles with the New Jersey plates of 34 small numbers DTM that were being tracked in Minnesota at that time. So now, because of one mistake by a cop or a dispatcher, whoever entered it in LA, 2,000 miles away, total of 5 vehicles were being tracked using these Fourth Amendment violating cameras through a different state, halfway across the country. This is absolutely absurd. One of the comical things is that the Drive has been kind of writing about how bad these Flock cameras are just in the past couple weeks, and then now they get to experience firsthand of what can happen, what does go wrong, what will go wrong, and what is going wrong when it comes to these cameras. So even after these cops figured out what the deal was and found out what the thing was, they still tried to say that the plates themselves are in fact stolen, even though they could see that it was actually a logistical information entering error on the police's part. They still wanted to claim that these plates were stolen. And then they told the guys to get into the car and go straight home and not to drive this around anymore, because it's still going to be being flagged by every Flock camera it goes through. And right here, I want you to look at this part right here. The cop said to the journalist here and his wife, because this happened in Plymouth, Minnesota, "You're lucky we're in Plymouth. If you were in Minneapolis, they definitely would have come at you with guns drawn." So if they had gotten stopped at a Kohl's in Minneapolis to drop off a package to give a long enough time for cops to come box them in, the cops would have gotten out of cars with their guns already trained on the people. So now that the danger level has increased even more, because now the weapons are already drawn and pointed at the people. Had a cop had an itchy trigger finger, had they moved and anyone didn't like it, if God forbid, if one of those cops happened to be a woman, and I don't care if you don't like hearing this women out there who may watch this video, is 100% true. The odds of them getting shot would have exploded exponentially. You can look up all the stats of how quick female cops are to shoot people. Okay? Look that up. So just the ability, the different types of cops raises the threat level up. Luckily, they came across cops that were semi-cool with this, even though it took them an hour to understand what was going on, and they still couldn't understand fully that the plates were not, in fact, actually legit plates from New Jersey for manufactured vehicles. They still claimed those were stolen, okay? Had this gone anywhere else, this guy, they could have been, if it was in Minneapolis, they could have had the guns on them. They could have potentially got shot. They've been dragged out of the car at gunpoint, face slammed into the ground, handcuffed, thrown in the back of a car, taken off and booked, and have to spend how much money on lawyers and all this shit to get it all straightened out, to prove that they were innocent, that they did nothing wrong. All they did, their crime that they committed, according to Flock cameras, where they were an automotive journalist. Can you guys not see how bad this is? The sheer existence of these cameras is going to get somebody killed. It's going to get multiple people killed before anyone starts taking notice, before the sheep start waking and going, well, hey, what's going on here? Like I said in my last video where that cop completely falsified everything using flock cameras to try and get some lady to admit to stealing a package in a place that she never was. Simple data errors in the other side of the country are going to get people fucking shot and killed. All because these cameras are spying on everyone and their AI is fucking useless. AI should not exist. It does not help. It is not beneficial in any way. I need you people to understand this. AI is not being pushed because this is a benefit to society. It is a benefit to those that are in power, be that big businesses that want to get rid of even more of their employees and replace them with AI, be it the government because they want to spy on and punish dissidents, because that's what this is going to be. It is going to be used, and it's already being used by cops to track people that they don't agree with, to track love interests, to track exes, to track who knows what else. It's already being used by the cops. That is slightly separated from those quote unquote elected officials that are in power. When those power hungry people realize the full scope of what is capable with these cameras, rest assured that they will use that to spy and follow and tail all of their political opposition and use it to punish them, to get them out of the way from them achieving their goals. That has the way it has always happened. For all you people that keep commenting in my videos, oh, I have nothing to hide. Oh, this is wrong. Oh no, it doesn't matter what the law says this, blah, 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 blah. You people are the useful idiots of history. Every single time I'm going to say commies right now, but any sort of fascist dictator, all this have wanted to take over, they have used you morons to help push their agenda, to apologize for what they're doing, to turn in their neighbors. Do you remember the whole COVID thing? Hey, report anybody you see, report people that are doing something other than what they do. Half of the country were smart enough to see what it was from the beginning. And now more people are starting to see that, oh, they were lied to begin with. And now, the tangent here, but there's going to be a massive increase of cancers coming on from getting those shots. Just mark my words. Go ahead and mark this down. There's going to be a bunch of these people getting cancers in the near future. You saw how these people were so eager to fall in line with the powers that be, with the fascist takeovers, with the consolidation of power. You useful idiots are what they use as the stepping stones to get to where they go. And the thing about this is you don't understand is once they get to the position they want, you useful idiots are the first ones to be removed from society. It has happened everywhere. They know that since you allowed to get in power, you will not put up any resistance to them removing you out of the way. If they were to see, they know that if you useful idiots were to see that the people that were against them at first were the ones that were being targeted, you would wake up and go say, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? This isn't what I believed in. So they take you out first. So you can't even start to try and resist. Okay? Look up history. Stalin, Pol Pot, Hitler, Mao, Castro, whatever the dude's name down was in Argentina, however long ago, Maduro in Venezuela. Just look it up. It's all the same. Nothing changes. The only thing that will be different about back then and right now is that you will be the unnamed idiots that are listed in the history book as allowing stuff to happen. Don't you get it? Do you not understand this now? All of this is to control and punish you. All of the data centers that they are pushing is to store information like this, to store these wrongful entered license plates, to then harass you and arrest you and or potentially get you killed. That is why this stuff is being pushed. That is why it is never for your safety. I have been around long enough to live through these world-changing events multiple times and can see the way it's going. Listen to me when I say this. I was sitting in my U.S. history class when we heard about the first plane hitting the Twin Towers. We turned on the TV and I watched the second plane hit live. Kind of dumbstruck, but also at the same time understanding that at that given point right then, everything has changed and the world was never going to be the same. That great false flag to hide the crimes of certain groups of people that were stored in those buildings, and then the other building that, you know, blocks away that wasn't even a hit by plane, that, you know, just collapsed in free fall. Okay? I witnessed that happen, and what happened because of that? The introduction of the Patriot Act, the NSA, the nonstop spying on Americans and communication, FISA courts, all this stuff, and now we are just continually progressing along this stage to now where we can't even go out in our vehicles without being monitored and tracked every single place we go. And then you have Leonardo signal trace added to it that also documents every sort of electronic device or anything that sends a signal and attaches it to those pictures. Can you guys not understand this? This needs to stop. People are going to die. You need to start voicing your opinions, sharing this information with the idiots. Let them know what is happening and change things. Guys, it needs to change. There's always more of us than there is of them. Remember that. Stop telling me something is already illegal. Change the laws. The laws only exist because we allow them to exist. Stop being pushovers. You understand? Now, to finally to wrap a big bow on this situation right here. The funniest thing about us, and we have to say it's funny at this point in time with this guy potentially being put in a life-threatening situation because some idiot in the LAPD entered in something incorrectly into a computer. The real kicker to this whole situation is that car that they claimed was stolen was never stolen. They just simply misplaced it, parked it in the wrong spot, and lost track of it. That is the real kicker behind all this. It wasn't even stolen. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today in this video. I will continue making these videos. I will continue spreading this. I am imploring you guys to start waking up all the others as much as you can and start pushing back against this stuff. If you want to share my videos, great. If you don't, I don't care. If you want to share other people's videos you find more informative and communicate the information I'm saying in a better way, by all means, share their stuff. What is important is that the more people we have talking, the more people we have sharing the information, the louder the voices get, and the easier it is to fight back and actually make a change. I have the link to this article down in the description if you want to read his full-on, his first-hand account of what happened to him in the description of the video. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. So like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.